This is Will from Eugen Bliss, The Road to Happiness. No, I mentioned a lot of a couple of my lives this week, actually, before this actually happened on my thumbnail. And I was hitting some key points on certain things that were actually going on. So I want to wait a couple minutes because I have a special guest tonight, too. He's coming from almost 5,000 miles away, clear across the country. I'm from Maine, and he's from Oregon. My friend Shane. Uh, Hey man,
What's up?
how you doing?
I just got back from the park walking
Yeah,
the dogs. Yeah.
that
So I was
that is
like,
enough.
oh man, I didn't know if I missed you. And so that's why I just decided to text you, and see if you were going to still go on.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I was just trying to figure out what I was gonna do, and I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna jump. It's
So so this is live right now?
yeah, we're live. Yeah, on my channel. Um, so you know what we were talking about last night? You know how we got into some really deep conversation last night about what just happened there a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Um,
Charlie.
and it was very interesting how our perspectives about how this is completely changing the fundamentalism of America. Just one thing. And you sent me that feed, that video, and I watched it
Yeah.
uh from Hughes.
Is that the
Um
guy?
yeah, very interesting. And another thing too, as I went back and I started watching some of his debates
Yeah.
of Charlie Kirk, and it's funny because I hit a couple of you can this is what's so fascinating about disinformation. You can every video that I saw was a different perspective and a different view of this Charlie Kirk guy,
A
and
different
how
argument.
right, and like they had
Hey,
some on there that completely embarrassed him. The guy from the UK, the redhead, he had his poofy hair, and he was a student from I think it was Oxford University, and he just was pointing out how he sided with Trump. there's a lot of speculation in this whole conversation because uh there's too much information now about this that now it's getting way too confusing. You know what I'm trying to say?
It is because it branched into this huge thing that it is, and there's so many different steps and levels, and I'm finding that like not one entity, like you can't say like, okay, Antifa caused it. Well, they had something to do with it, and their rhetoric caused it, but there was no big plan of like there's no Democrat sitting in a chair going, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this. And it's just this free for all. But it's definitely like that guy was talking about. It's definitely to cause violence, to cause confusion, fear, um, and for you to give those reactions back.
Mm,
You know, the algorithm on YouTube does it. You know,
yeah, absolutely.
you think that
Yeah.
the algorithm is showing you all the different, shows that you watch, like, oh, I like police chasing. So it starts showing you that. But you don't realize that it's showing you police chasing because it's got girls in it, because you happen to watch police chasing with girls in it,
Yeah.
instead of guys, and so it's showing you this restricted amount, you know, and,
Well,
and
it
it,
made me, oh, sorry about that. Go ahead, finish.
no, it was just, I lost my thought. But
Well, see, and you know what really struck me as a negative perspective about all this, what really threw the red flag for me was all social media's comments and how uh man, it's disgusting how someone can actually laugh and giggle about public suicide. I mean, a public murder, you know what I'm saying? Not a suicide, but a public, you know, basically in a sense a sacrifice to draw this uprise, to see what we could get for a reaction. And they know that they're not going to get reactions from my channel the way they're going to get reactions from, um, gore and blood and all that stuff. They don't want to show uh, the type of stuff that my channel tries to portray: the love, the peace, the joy, the unity. They don't want that. They're trying to create this division with this sword and a
yeah,
gun, shooting
um,
somebody in the neck. That's what really gets views. That's what's making money. So at the end of the day, we already know what the source of this all is. The source is chaos pays off. Chaos gives me a lot more money in my bank account.
that's
You
true.
know, you know.
When I watched that guy's video, it really resonated with me about how, some of the conversations I had with my parents,
Mm-hmm.
concerning Trump, concerning stuff like that. And then within the last year, I started noticing my parents were becoming more violent in their rhetoric. When Trump got shot, they said, it's too bad they missed.
Yeah,
And I was like,
exactly.
what's wrong?
Exactly.
You guys
That is
aren't the people.
horrible.
Yeah, and I'm all, you guys were like the hippies that taught me about freedom and taught me how to accept every nationality and all that. And here they're a little discriminative and violent, And then my mom's reactions, like when she was gonna kick me out of the house. I mean, I came to visit. And because I said Trump, she said, "Get the fuck out of my house," and threw a
Yeah.
clap across the room, and was never violent, like that. And then when they talk about things, and they're like, "That just I call it spitting venom,"
Yeah.
and they spew venom over a subject about like, oh, well, they're teaching this in school in this state, and I'm all, and that makes you mad. I'm like, what? Why would you get mad saying that? Or debating it. Um, and so I'm hoping that my parents will come around a little bit and understand that they need to change their rhetorics about it, because it's part of the trick. It's part of the make America violent.
Mm-hmm.
And make it a norm. Make it normal for people to get shot.
And is
And
it is this all coincidence that we're on the verge of World War III and the same process of all this? Some more carnage, some more bloodshed. I mean, look, we got multiple countries right now planning to attack America, and I'm just saying this off the cuff. I don't really know except for a very little bit of information that I've been received,
Yeah.
and it's scary to think that we've got this uprise of violence all of a sudden. Like we're on a verge of complete catastrophic
And
destruction.
like that guy was saying on his show that if you psyop, if you looked at books about for the government on how to psyop a country, and like step one, you get people angry, and you
Yeah,
get people
Chase Hughes. Yeah,
norm. Then you normalize violence. You normalize people's reactions to things. So then when you come down and say, "Oh, we're dragging this guy out of the city hall and we're going to kill him," it's okay, and everybody's like, "Yeah," you know, and
it
it's
sounds
like,
like it sounds like medieval times. If
yeah,
we haven't learned anything from our own history, and sorry for interrupting you. Uh, but no, this leads me to another thing that we talked about many times. What can we do as individuals, constituents right now to change the narrative right now as we speak? What can we do as people, as concerned people? Like, what can we do as individuals to change this narrative? And I think the first thing we need to understand is we all have there is something on both sides that we all have in common,
yeah,
right? We all have we want our children safe. We want to have a roof over our heads. We want foods in our bellies, right? And this is from the right and the left, right? There are
both
some
sides.
common ground here. There's a lot of common ground, more than we think,
Yeah,
that we have in
like
common with each other. This
like
it's time now. It's time now to start expressing this. That hey, you on the left. I understand you got a family. I have a family too. So what I mean. So we do have things in common. And I mean it's crazy, but it starts with all of us. And I know it sounds cliche,
cliche,
but
right?
listen, it only takes someone to be kind. And you know what? We don't need to react to it, a negative comment. Just because you got to grow a couple hairs in your balls once in a while and realize humility is the person that walks away. That doesn't have to start the conversation, doesn't have to add the fuel to the fire. And sometimes it's the bigger man that does that. And to be forgiving too and have that humility.
Right.
There's a lot of
Understanding of
things
the
that
other
we can
point.
do.
And so, like you said, what can we do? Well, all of us on the political side, right? We put up a block as soon as we know who we're talking to, the other side. But what are they trying to
Picking
say?
teams.
What are they trying to get across? Well, it's a little harder when they're not really quoting factual things. When they're talking about blah 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 from the media, that's not true. You know, that's a little hard thing to debate. And so then you got to kind of like weave around it, um but I've never been violent or angry or anything when I discuss politics with my parents or my friends, you know um and understanding that there's two sides to everything, and a reason. um
There's three sides. There's always three sides.
yeah, what's the third side? There's your side, my side, and
And there's a higher side. There's something that's going to be in divine order that's actually going to make, there is a divine plan that's always overseeing something that you and I are looking at. Never forget that. The idea
or
of freedom, of freedom of speech, we all kind of understand that that's even being suffocated. You know what I'm
poor
saying? So,
poor dirt farmer right there. You're right. um it is the red side, Republican side, that is willing to talk, and
yeah,
they want to talk about factual things, real things. But the other side wants to be, manipulative and on the under, and they're not playing with a regular deck, and we all know that. And so it's a breakdown of the communication. And so as soon as they take the debating away from us and we don't debate it no more, then violence moves in. And then now we're in a violent state, and
And
that's the responses, you know.
and that's
And
what we brought up last night with George Soros. We used him for an example of, dropping the bricks on the corner street corners so they could start looting and stuff over there in Oregon, right?
that happened everywhere: Wisconsin, California, here
Exactly.
in Oregon, in Portland, Oregon. And I was trying to point it out to people, and they were like, "Oh, come on, nobody did that. Nobody put bricks out there." And you're like, "Yes, they did." And
Yeah.
but it wasn't like a government entity. It was a
Mhm.
private Soros type
Mhm.
NGO, and the NGOs are a problem as well. You know, these nonprofit government organizations that feed government, like the Soros. You know, um, and there's too much connection there, and so you got to turn off. And so, like for one, like I don't watch CNN. You know,
Uh-uh.
the only type I do is when I watch clips of CNN that somebody's pointing out
I will
because
not watch CNN
they
or
prove me.
MSNBC or even
Yeah,
Fox for that matter. I mean, I'm very leery on what news feeds we actually pay attention to. You know what I mean?
yeah, and Dirt Farmer, you're right. Like people are they're done talking,
Hmm.
and they want resolution, and they don't want to talk anymore to that side.
Hmm.
And
And that's
and
scary.
that's what the side wanted. They wanted
Uh-huh.
to engage us into an argument without debating, and then cause us to be violent, and
Hmm.
our reactions to be violent,
Well,
normalize violence.
if that's what you're always being shown on a daily basis, it's just
Yep.
like listening to the same negative music that people listen to. If you're gonna listen to headbanging, fist fighting, killing, shooting, all that stuff, be prepared to have that kind of a mindset. Everything starts with the mind. This is
Yeah.
why we're living and we're experiencing firsthand a war on our own land using psychological warfare against our own constituents, in my opinion.
The government wrote about it in the 60s
Yeah,
under top secret. How do you psyop another country? You know,
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
I've always thought like the USAID scandal, or the USAID, that that was like a whole giant list of NGOs that were going out to all these different countries, and in the name of helping them and democratizing them, right? But I'll give a good example. They gave all this money to Pakistan for
Hmm.
telecommunication companies, and it was up for
Yeah.
the grab. And so all you had to do was be a telecommunication company. So then the rise of the scammer, the phone scammer, all from Pakistan. And so then I watched this guy that went undercover, and he tapped into one of those guys' laptops, and inside the laptop was the only thing there was three telecommunication companies. And so they go to their government and say, "I'm going to be a telecommunications company and help people try to redo their bill or redo their service. I contact the cable company for them, and we try to make a new deal," right? So they get the right to do that. But then, and the list of people to call. But they're just scammers and scamming it. And so out of that USAID, in Pakistan, we all got scams, and a lot of people in America got scammed out of their money, in the
Mhm.
last 5 years. You know,
Okay, so let's answer poor dirt farmer's question. You want to read it, Shane?
the last one.
Yeah.
I really don't want to talk to any Democrats. Is that what
No,
you're?
the other one. No, the other one. We have every kind of religion in the country coming after America.
What does
Right
it say?
now, even our own people are trying to destroy the American way.
We
Uh,
need to.
I believe that they're trying to destroy America inside out, and they're using the revealed religion to form unified religion worldwide. And we're going through this transformation as we speak. So what's going to happen is we're going to go through this great friggin' downfall collapse, and they're going to bring this new religion up, and it's going to save the world again, and we're all going to have to abide by that law of rule. And I don't think the world's really prepared for this.
Like, the thing with ICE, the
Yeah, I'm
protest,
glad I'm from Maine too, because the
yep,
Second Amendment's still right up here too.
the paid protesters, you know, they're not from Portland. They're vagabond people. They live on the street, like literally in front of the ICE building until nighttime, until they protest. And
Yeah,
they do that every day, and they've done it for 65 days, something. And
yeah.
so then they started taking pictures of the agents and their faces and putting it online. And then people started harassing the agent's family and graffitiing their cars and stuff like that. So the agents started wearing masks. And so all the Democrats, and I don't know how they passed this, but all the Democrat states passed today one law that says that no federal agents or police officers or anybody, sheriff, ICE, nobody can wear masks. And it helps the issue. They know that they were being docked, documented with their private information, but
Yeah.
they're for it because they pay for it. The protests, you know.
Well, that's the
And
thing. I
so
think. I think. Sorry for interrupting you. Um, I think personally, I think the basic makeup of what's actually happening is they're creating the problem, then creating the solution to get their main agenda across by using chaos, fear tactics, man against man. Uh, for crying out loud, I think in Maine, for instance, I don't. 10 years ago, we were friendly neighbors. Nowadays, dude, our neighbors don't even talk to each other. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? The communities, they've completely destroyed the family fabric of the United States. We've destroyed any ideology about holding family close and keeping them tight and taking care of one another. It's all been obsoleted, in my opinion. Now it's every man for himself. You better look behind your back. There's no one looking out for you but yourself. That's a
yeah,
bad mentality to have. And if you're going to war, why would you want this mentality? I mean, understand Donald Trump's way of thinking here. We need to be uniting each other just in case it does happen so we can fight with one another, not kill each other. You know? I mean, it's kind of
yeah.
reverse
And
psychology.
Dirt farmer, he's right. It's the Constitution is very important. I go ask any Mason.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and they'll tell you the importance of it. Um, you have laws like that say that the states can't tell the federal what to do, but then they still try to do that. And they CNN interviewed Tom Homan, the borders are, and they said, "What do you think about that? Are your officers going to demask?" And he said, "No, we're going to keep on doing what we do, and that's what we have an objective, you know." And um, like about that subject, people get that slurred, and then they say it's Trump's fault because of immigration, but it was a congressional thing, and
Yeah.
every president they do that.
But
Uh, uh,
listen though, go ahead.
I was
Go
just gonna
ahead.
say that Obama, he did like 8 million or something deported, and even Biden deported like 2 million or something. It's just a common thing that they do, and it's not the president's fault, you know.
Well, I think we all understand that the president of the United States is actually just the CEO of the corporation that we live in, and he's
Just
just he's the guy that signs the paperwork. He's the guy that does what he has to do every year to get together. Because it's a business. We live in a business, a corporation. Our birth certificate is your bond. It's a bond that's probably worth billions of dollars by now, but they're using it and hidden against us. You know what I mean? I know I'm off topic right now, but another thing that I wanted to mention up here in Maine, for instance, we got police officers now wearing army fatigues, and
wow.
they're standing outside our schools. I don't understand this. I've lived in my hometown for 47 years, and it
Yeah.
wasn't recently until like 2020, or when I think what everything's changed. Now we got police officers attending and you know, just that security, that safe of authoritarian presence, um, to me is intimidating to the common man when there's nothing there to warrant it. You know what I'm
It's true.
saying?
My my
What are you
theory,
giving for an impression for these children?
the
You know what I mean?
I'm in an area that's all sheriff, and it's Marin County sheriffs, and they dress like military,
Yeah.
all black, sometimes all green, combat boots, even with the pants leg cuffed, budgied, and they all wear ball caps, you know, and I don't know if they should be dressing like that, but like here, like a lot of states that were Democrat, they started trying to lower crime by changing crime and downsizing it. And so it happened to me with my meth head neighbor, and we called the police on him, and he was verbally assaulting four people, you know, and the police came and they said, "Yep, we're going to arrest him, but we're going to give him a piece of paper, and we're going to arrest him." And he was on parole for violently strangulating somebody at their front door.
Yeah.
They didn't arrest him, but they gave him an arrest. And then as soon as it went to the judge threw it out of court.
Yep.
Why? Why would you
Exactly.
throw it out of court? Like there was tons of evidence. They had testimonies from every person, and because they want to try to give the criminal a chance. But in act, what it did was it didn't log that incident under a violent incident, and so it
Mhm.
lowered crime. So then they changed the crime through the courts by dumbing it down. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And you
yeah,
know what's funny is I've got some information. I've took a video 2 years ago that I've held on to and I will not delete it. Of a police officer in my town completely violating a constituent's fucking human rights. I could not believe it. I had it on camera. I covered it all. And you know what's really funny is 2 weeks ago I had to confront this same officer that I have information on. And he tried to make me aware. No, he tried to make me aware of something in the community or whatever. And I looked at him like, you know what, buddy? I already know everything about you. And I didn't say nothing because, you know, one day this information that I have on my phone will be valuable against this dude because he's a crooked cop. He's a really crooked cop. And
and
he's dirty. And he's dirty and he's still a cop in my town. And I don't really like him.
maybe your information might make or break somebody's case, and but you don't see it now. It's not there, but someday it might be presented to you, and you'd be like, "That's why I saved it." You know.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, we need we have this technology in our hands all the time, right? So we ought to be using this as our own protection. And that's what I use it every day for. I use this not only to have on me just in case someone's calling me, but hey, dude, I'm an instant reporter with this baby. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We can instantly report something live and knowing, and it can save your ass sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Email yourself that video a couple different emails, Dress, so you can never lose it. No, I have it hard copied on a what do they call those things?
Oh, that's
Uh,
true. If you put it on
a SIM
private,
card. I
it'll
have it
stay
on
there
a SIM
forever.
card. Yeah, I have it saved on a SIM card, and I have it set that SIM card for my old phone is set aside in a special spot so I can have it at all times. No, I
I,
understand what you're saying about that.
I got a couple things on private on my channel that they were some of the biggest videos I had. 14,500, and one was 27,000, and I had to lock it because I was afraid that they were gonna censor me for it.
Oh,
And
dude,
I did
it's
two videos,
crazy.
and one video got me censored, or got me banned for 9 months. You know, and um, so the other video was similar, and so I blocked it. And just kept it from the public. And um, yeah, you could also, like, if you he Dirt Farmer just made me think of that. If you have a loved one that has a YouTube channel, and they die, then if you have access to their channel, if you just post one video every year, then it'll keep their channel open for indefinitely, and you could save
Yeah.
their all their information. You know, I film them and see them. I don't look for them much anymore. Oh, the cops! I've seen so many cops. The show Cops, in Florida, and I wouldn't want to get pulled over in Florida.
No, 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 no.
No way.
Especially they're a non-tolerant state for marijuana, bro.
Yeah,
There's no fucking way I want to get caught smoking pot in
just a
Florida.
little joint. They're like, come on, tell me, just a little joint, little something. We don't care. I'm like, don't believe them.
No, dude, I had a buddy. I have a good friend of mine. Well, not a good friend of mine, but he's no longer here. But he lived in Florida, right? And he was coming up to Maine, and then he went back to visit his mom, but he forgot he had weed in the car, dude. He spent
Oh
quite a while in jail in Florida, and his residence was in Maine.
man,
He got in a
dude,
lot of trouble.
when I went to Maine in 2008, um, I shipped to Maine an ounce of weed, and so I FedExed it, and I put it in with coffee and sealed it and did all this stuff. And so we had the directions for the GPS guy to put it on a chair. Like there was these two red chairs. And so, as you know, in Maine, everybody's got big driveways.
Yeah.
So we come up over the driveway and we start seeing the top of the chair, the red chair, and it comes down, and then boom, there's FedEx. And we're like, yeah. And then we bought some really good Colombian, man. From Maine, in Maine.
Yeah.
And so I took it back through the airport in New York City. And I had never been so scared in my life, man. I almost went down. Um, I had it packed away, and so I was really nervous. And so I get to the checkout, the security check, and they have a new security check.
Oh my God, man.
And
I've been shitting fucking bricks. I'll tell you that right now.
so they had all these single they look like little igloos with a security guard, a whole bunch of them. And so you get privately screened.
Oh
And,
no.
and so I put my bag down and the guy scans it and I go on my way and we're sitting in the waiting room or, sitting in the airport and they fucking call my name over the loudspeaker.
Oh
No,
no.
Patrick, to security, please.
Oh
And
no.
I flipped out, dude. And my ex-wife was like, just shut up. And I'm all, I'm going down. I'm going down. I'm going down. And she's just all, just go up there. And I'm all, nope, I'm leaving the airport. She's all, you can't leave the airport. You're in New York City. I'm all, I don't care. I'll walk. I said, I am not getting in trouble. I'm leaving. And she's like, I had to do everything in her power to keep me from leaving. She's all, just go to security. And I'm all, fine. And I went up and I'm all, yeah, I'm Patrick. And they're like, oh, you left your itinerary in the security bin.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay. And so we were traveling with two younger kids, or in their 20s, the ex's kid and her friend. And the friend was a little Mexican guy, Spanish guy from Chicago. And so all after the security thing happened, right? Well, I look around, I said, where's Jose? And I look, and he's surrounded by TSA.
Oh no.
I was like, oh fuck. I'm all, dude. And we didn't know the guy very well. And we're like, was he like, did he use this trip to like ship a whole bunch of coke or something? And like fucking like I look over at him and he looks back at me like, right. And so the TSA agents were around him in a circle on a table with his backpack. And then we actually came up and looked over his shoulder. And the agent pulls out this ball of tinfoil. And they set it down and they start opening it and opening it. And everybody leans in and looks in. And it was crushed blue glass. And they're like, "What the heck?" And Jose's face is red as shit. And so at the house in Maine, the lady of the house had all these little trinkets, and in the bathroom window there was all these little vials, and there was no fart fan. And so he went to the bathroom and he went up there and slid the window open, and it busted all of them,
Oh
all the
no.
little blue things. So he ran into the kitchen and found tinfoil and just put it like that, and then put it in his bag, and he forgot. And so when they went through security, they thought it was a bomb. And so then when we got back, we had two luggages, and one had weed in it, and one had about $600 worth of gold, like gold necklaces and earrings and chains that were all broken. Her dad
Oh
gave it,
man.
and I decided to separate it, you know. And so the bag that had the gold in it was randomly searched, and they left a note in it, in the bag, that said that they randomly searched it and found the gold, and they left it, you know. But if I would have put them together, I would have been busted. So I don't try to do that one anymore, you know.
You ain't getting away with that nowadays, I tell you that. But no.
It's so common, you know, that you could just buy it there, or hey, how about this? Try a trip without it.
Yeah.
Fat
Yeah.
chance. It's more of a life choice.
Yeah. Hey, so what time is it there where you are in Oregon?
What time is it? It's 8:28.
Let's see what time it is here. It's 11:28 here.
11:28. I bet you dirt farmers. It's 11:28 in Florida, huh?
I think so. Maybe they got an hour difference. I'm not sure though. You have to ask him.
I
No,
wonder if dirt farmer. Do you watch Benny Johnson? He's in Florida, right at the top. He's a young guy. Um, he talks a lot about politics and stuff. You know, he's actually was connected. You know, like in the media, he was the media people for Biden, and
oh
then
boy.
he, you know, left the White House, and then he became friends
Yeah,
with
same
Trump,
time.
personal friends with him, and
Yeah, same time plan. Yeah.
started trying to help out a little bit. But he's a good guy because he puts up both sides, you know, and mixing a little Christianity there and stuff like that. I mean, if you're after that, you know, I think they should be separate, but you know, it's okay. You know, I don't mind listening to it. Benny,
Yeah,
yeah.
Benny sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I when I told you on the text, I said, yeah, the target's in available, and it's time to jump. When every time I find something hard to do or I don't want to do it, I tell my lady, I say, yeah, well, I'm at the jump door and the green light's on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's time to jump, you know. And
Yeah, I
it's
did.
so
I jump.
close to do something, you know.
Yeah, I
Uh,
just can't wait. I can't wait. Eventually, I'm gonna be I'm working on my little YouTube studio thing, and so I can start making a little podcast room. I started it tonight, and I was like, man, I wanted to get it done tonight, and I wasn't gonna do the live. I was like, I'm just gonna wait until I get it done. I was just trying to make it's my mind playing F games with me. You know what I mean? Trying to create that fear not to do something that I should do. You know?
I was just explaining it to B about that, you know, about how your subconscious is on the side of you, and
Yeah.
your subconscious wants to keep you the same.
Yeah.
Wants
Well,
to keep
keep
you
you
safe.
safe. It wants to keep you safe.
Wants to keep you safe, and no variables. And if you do something new, if you do stuff, you know, that you don't know about or you're not sure of, then you're not sure, and you're not going to be safe. And so your subconscious is going to tell you all these things of reasons why. And somebody once told me that, you know how you know the difference between your thoughts and your subconscious thoughts? Because your thoughts don't come in the form of a question, but your subconscious will ask you a question. And
Mm,
the guy said that I watched, he was like, who's asking that question?
yeah.
You're asking yourself that question? No, your subconscious is asking you that question. And so we always got to fight our subconscious and keep it in check. And you listen to it, but just observe it,
Mm,
you know? And
yeah.
a Buddhist once said that in your mind and your consciousness is the sky, and all the clouds going by are emotions and thoughts of subconscious, and not one cloud can affect the sky. The rain cloud, the hail cloud, nothing. Anger, violence, sadness, it's just emotions. And that um you're going to have those emotions, like for every subject, but you have to be an observer and know that those emotions don't affect you. You feel them and you watch them go by.
Not real.
And then not to engage with them. And
Mm,
that made a lot of sense to me, you know.
hmm.
Um
What's that?
like like
Pork
when you get
Farmer
mad,
said, I like, oh, go ahead.
when you get mad all of a sudden, and you don't know what to do with that discharge. How do you discharge that? You know,
Mm,
what do you do with your anger? And that's a tough one. You know,
mm,
that's the one I struggle with is how do you de-escalate yourself during a time that you're super scared, super mad, super, I guess the key is not to get to that point. You feel your blood pressure rising, you think about the thought over and again, and so then you stop yourself and you're like,
yeah.
whoa, I'm gonna get mad right here, or I'm gonna loop. I call it looping. Like I have
Yeah.
OCD, and I'll tend to loop about a subject, and I'll just think
Yeah.
about it over and over and over, and then I'll have to stop myself, and I'll be like, I'm not getting anywhere. I
Yeah.
gotta get to this subject. It's bad.
Yeah. There's a great word for that too. It's called perseverating. And I learned that word. I learned that word when I was working in mental health, in the mental health field, and we use that as it's a trigger. You know what I'm saying? It's just like anybody at every action, any energetic action has an energetic reaction. It's the laws of the universe. And being human beings, we have the free will to understand the difference between right and wrong, depending on the mindset of where we are. Because if we're in a hostile mindset, it's hard to maintain your clarity. It's hard not to get caught up into that energy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But back to Dirt Farmer, he said he liked Charlie. I wonder if he's meaning Charlie Kirk. If he is, that was the main reason why I wanted to do this live tonight too,
Oh,
was because
yeah,
I
I thought
wanted
he.
to I wanted to get other people's comments and thoughts and ideas about what did happen this week.
What's funny is I like Charlie Kirk, and I'm, as I'm not I'm kind of an atheist in a way, but I'm kind of done with the theological debate about God and this and that, because I had that debate a long time ago, with
Yeah.
myself, with God, and all that. And I believe in a God. That's why I say I'm kind of like an atheist. I just don't believe in the words that they say, the exact way
Mm,
they say it. But um, when I watched Charlie, I didn't get triggered about that. I was like, okay, he's a Christian and a devout Christian, and so he brings it up. But he'll tell people in the debate, he's like, hey, that's another debate. We were just talking about politics. Let's not intertwine them. You know, and so he was really good at that and debating people and making people think. You know,
mm,
they say he would have been president in 28.
yeah.
He would have been the youngest president. Um, I don't know if he would have, but a lot of people backed him, and he's the sole reason why Trump got elected. Was
Yeah.
what he was, the connection with the young card. You know, um,
He was gaining too much power on a political level with
but
the constituents.
what's more important about any one subject matter is like what he was trying to teach, and he was trying to teach the young people that it's okay to have a different opinion, and it's okay to disagree. Same thing. Um, but to take it away from the violence,
Yeah, to do it civil.
like he was pointing out this issue of like, hey, it seems like there's an issue with transgenders being violent, and then people backlashed at him. So you can't say that about them, blah 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 blah. And he's like, whoa, it's just a debate, it's just a discussion. I'm live right now. Okay, no, go ahead. She would just say something to me. I think she thought I was on a phone conversation. Yep, Kirk. Oh, he just said that. Yep, Kirk. Yeah, and the way that he was taken out like that by somebody young too, you know. I just hope we don't have a start of that, and I really hope that everybody can calm down and readjust themselves and have understanding for all the differences, you know. I remember that guy. He said that you haven't you that one guy down the street that's the opposite party of you, um, that you have more in common with him than any one politician, and that George Soros of America have more in common with the greed of a casino than they have with you. You know, and
Yeah, they
and
don't
that
care about us.
no, and that's the blacks. That what do they call it? The deep state is the rich, uber rich guys that put the
I
money in
did,
the different funds. Behind the backs of Congress and behind all that.
lobbyists, yeah.
You can talk to me, B. If you had a thought or something, throw it in.
Yeah, go ahead. We're speaking freely here.
She said that the federal government is charging George Soros with the RICO act of like being what is I'm not sure exactly what the RICO act is, but I know it means something to do with like coercing and manipulating people. Not monopoly, no, not monopoly, but I'd have to look that up. That's a new word. I just recently started hearing. There was the RICO thing, but
Yeah, it's
I
what
knew
they started. They started it. They did it to take down the mafia.
right.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, man.
But yeah, she said that people have to talk to be able to debate, and when they disagree, is the time that they're supposed to talk back and forth. But the second that people stop talking is when violence is replaced. And because they can't talk, then they get angry and have violence, And then they're like, well, okay, that's the reaction. And
Mm,
I just hope that, I don't know, maybe all the small channels in America, all of us can do our part in just spreading that word of
mm.
to engage with people or not. But don't.
Well, I have a hard time with that because my channel has been targeted so much because they don't want my energy and the love and the peace and the joy and all that stuff. They don't want that out. So my channel's been taking a hit. So I'm hoping that now after this has all happened, maybe it'll open up the floodgates to the opportunity for these peoples to start joining together. You know what I'm saying? And start saying, hey, we do have a lot more in common. You know,
Right.
we may be 4,000 miles away, but we can still sit down and have these conversations together, like you and I are doing it right now.
And that was the number one thing on psyoping another country, was getting them to not engage with each other. And that was the first step,
Yeah.
was getting them not to talk. And they always say that the federal government or the black government, the black ops government, the deep state, is scared of people getting along, of
Oh yeah.
people engaging, and all of us figuring out that we're all the same and want the same thing, you know. Um, just It's seriously, we all just want simple things and just kind of things for ourselves. We just want to live our life and all those things. You know,
Well, I think we need to keep in mind that we need to be considerate of others. You know, we need to start thinking like, hey, you know what? I want to be treated the way, I want to treat you the way that I want to be treated, with dignity and respect. We need to bring that back in because if we don't have that, then there is not going to be a conversation. There's not going to be any respect. We're going to be at each
the
other's throat, and it's not right. That's not the way we got to do it.
the day Charlie Kirk died, I called my dad and I talked to him for 3 hours about this type of stuff. And it was the first time in probably 6 years I was able to engage my dad in a political conversation without him getting upset. And
Mm.
um, because I was trying to see, well, what take away the anger and what upsets you about this, or what perturbs you about this. Why do you think this is an issue? And then it'll usually, like with people like my dad, it usually comes down to a law that was passed a long time ago. Like, well, he can't do that because of this law, you know and that's where their anger is because they're offended that this thing's going on, and back in the 50s they changed that, and that's not supposed to be going on, and so the complaint had merit, but it had no place for anger or anything like that. And he was the first time he asked me about my opinion. He's like, well, how do you feel about those National Guards coming in and blah, 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 you know? And I told him, I said, look, just because I placed a vote doesn't mean I agree with every single thing. And I don't, like, not at all. And but I'm not going to be violent about it. I'm not going to go out and rage the streets because I disagree with the president about bringing National Guard in, which is such a patsy thing to do. You know, I mean, like, the second they leave, the day they leave, they're going to start selling fentanyl and robbing again. It's just the way it is. There's always the bad in every society, right?
Well,
You
there's
know?
a double-edged sword. We've all been granted the Excalibur, right? And we've all been taught that no matter what, there's good and bad in everything. It's just plain and simple. But there is the truth here. There is more good here than there is bad. Does that make sense? You know,
No, it is.
because you know it comes down to uh I call it moral a moral degree. A moral degree on an individual person and where they come from. And you're only as smart as your environment, man. If you're only being taught and listening to certain things, it's going to be hard to have a conversation with somebody if you don't have an open mind because an open mind is like a parachute. It does not work if it doesn't open.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's for
You
sure. That's a good.
know, and that's a great Jordan Maxwell saying. You know what I'm saying? It's these guys that are so caught up in not really learning about what's really in front of us. You know what I'm saying? We're too busy picking teams and picking sides and fighting all the time. You know, we're too busy watching baseball and football and you know what our neighbors doing to their dog. You know what I'm saying? Or who's crapping on someone's lawn? That stuff that's irrelevant to
Right.
your
Yeah.
personal to your personal growth and your well-being. We should be concentrating on ourselves more. Be more selfish, but in a way to get to know yourself, to love yourself, to understand that love is real and we are all in that same boat, that we all have it. It's how are we being manipulated? What are we taking in this grand computer up here that's dictating who we are as a person? Because the true self is all loving and kind. We are the true reflection of the universe, the earth. We're all the reflection, the mirror of all this. And once we start realizing the true essence of why we're all here, and we all have a purpose in this life, and we all have something to offer it, I think it'd be a good stepping stone for other conversations in the future.
Last night I was watching a show about what happens when a theory, and they were saying, well, it was based on in the year 972. A lady that was a medium said she was visited by a spirit called Seth, and that she wrote a book about it and what Seth said about death and the levels of death and all this. And it was so out there that they refused to. They banned the book and they refused to print it.
Yeah.
And it was just because the person left out God, the
Mm.
actual word, and that they said that like all of us were God, and that like we die, right, and we go into this state of you look back on your whole life, but you're not standing there with God or Jesus. You examine your own life, and then it takes like up to 3 days for you to process your whole life. Some people get stuck there and they never want to leave it. And they go through something that was traumatic over and over again. And
Yeah.
if there was like 5 people in the room, let's say, that witnessed your dad beating you, you'll go through it in the eyes of each one of those people. And you're examining this. And you're supposed to move on to the next step. And so the next step is you meet one of your soul companions, somebody that they say that there's groupings of souls that all go together every reincarnation, every time. They're like your friend, your neighbor, the boss, all kinds, right? And so that person will appear and explain to you that, hey, you got 3 choices. You can stay in your state of mind right now, you can be reincarnated, or you can go to a different state and choose nobody. Choose and like go to a different place, like maybe it's heaven, where you don't have body, it's just light, and you communicate through telepath and all that stuff. But almost everybody chooses to reincarnated, and that you choose the type of person you like. No, I'm going to reincarnate as a millionaire or as a terrorist shooter, but I don't know if I believe that. Like I, you know, um, that would mean that even that shooter person has the right to do that because they chose it or something.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
that's there's some soul stealing involved here too, though. You know what I'm saying by that? When you sell your soul to the devil, that's a soul contract. And that does have some play in what you're trying to say.
yeah.
That's
See,
why
I
you
don't think
get these
that's
killers.
not
You know what I mean?
like that. One of the options isn't to be a terrorist, but that's what could happen to a soul.
Yeah, if you get stuck in that if you get stuck in that same cycle, that does happen.
Yeah,
You know, it does. I
it's true.
mean, I don't know. Neither one of us really know. We're speculating on what we've been taught through our knowledge and wisdom. So, I mean, do we really know the answer? Probably not.
You
But
talk about things that are like that happen, and they just happen for a reason or something. So we go to the park, and as I'm driving, B's telling me about Charlie Kirk and that his eulogy, and his wife was really religious, and she brought up God a whole bunch of times and his purpose and all this stuff. And and um and I'm all, wow, and she was saying how all these other people that were attending there that are social media people like YouTube, that aren't religious, they still respected it, right? And like Tim Pool and the list goes on and on. Benny Johnson, there was a whole bunch of people there, and I was like, wow. I was like, it's great to see that even people that don't believe necessarily in God, that they believe in the spirit and that there is something else there. So she opens the door and gets out of the car, and on the ground is a picture of Jesus. Where is it? Is it right there? Oh, she took it. It's like a little card. And just as she said that they were talking about Jesus, and she gets out, and there it was. Hell, let me show it to you. It was right at my feet. It was right at her feet.
That
That was
is,
really good. Isn't that weird? And we were
that's
talking about whether or not Jesus or God, existed and on all this stuff. And I'm all, I guess he does. I'm like, that was I'm all, Will says things happen for a reason.
confirmation. That's what that was.
Uh-huh.
That was
Uh-huh.
confirmation.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You're looking good in life, dude. Look like
Thanks,
you
man.
lost some weight and stuff. And
Yeah. I have. No, it's
it's the
it's a
camera.
process. It's a process in everyone's journey, right? I mean, we all have a choice to make, and I try to do good. I try to do, and I am with the only intentions, man. My only intentions is out of love. I try to transmute any negativity that I can, and I try not to live myself in this matrix that they want to get caught up into. It's difficult for a lot of people to get caught up in the age, um,
The
just
cell
all
phone,
kinds of
man.
things.
The media, it's a drug. And I watched something today, and then I watched it, and it was the last thing I watched today. And I put my phone down, and I spent the whole day. I didn't watch YouTube at all, and
Mm.
that's quite rare to me. I mean, I probably might put in 6 to 8 hours on YouTube,
Yeah.
and it was like the guy was saying. He said it's not very. It's not this. What he said wasn't. It only followed suited for people that were like Gen X, that was from a time that we didn't have the cell phones, and so we were active then, and we did all kinds of stuff. And he said, remember, try to remember the last thing that you did, or no, he said that remember what your life was like before the cell phone, and then is there anything in your life that you still do that was part of you then that is part of you now? And the answer is no. And we watch these little shorts, and we watch these little clips, and our brain puts it in on short-term memory because it can't put it into long-term. But when we were all doing stuff and playing ball with our kids and riding our bikes and flying a kite, we were playing with matter, and that was real, and that was like logging in a long-term memory.
Mm.
And so as you go through, and if you take somebody like me that watches too much social media, that's all you think about. And so if you sit in a room by yourself with the TV off and nothing on, and you're not happy, then that's how you know that there's a problem. And if
Mm.
you can't sit in a room and have some thoughts, and because you should, and we did before the cell phone, all of us could sit in a room and just think and think about things. But because we drove our bodies into short-term memories, experiences, and we just stopped thinking. And so it kind of made me think about how much I'm watching and what I'm watching, you know. Um Even if it is for the other side or the side I'm on and it's against the other side, it's still painted as a negative connotation, you know? And how do you
Excuse me.
fight it? You turn the phone off. You know, you just go back
What?
to the way it was.
I think the greatest impact that I had on that Chase Hughes video today was what you just said. I think the key points is we need to take more time for ourselves without
Yeah.
having any distraction. But it's so hard in this day and age because of the greed perspective. Everyone knows they can make money off this, so they're trying so damn hard being on this as long as they can because they think they can make more money.
Yeah.
So it's become a dopamine rush. You know, it's worse than fentanyl.
And I don't even like, I don't do it for the money. I don't make money. Um, but I'm only speaking of my social media scrolling, like what I watch for entertainment.
Yeah.
And I've always justified it. And I was a person that watched a lot of movies. I love movies. I could watch a movie 100 times, you know, and I stopped watching movies, and I stopped turning on my TV. And then days go by and I don't turn on my TV because I have my little device, and my vision's getting worse and it's getting blurry because the pixels and the refresh rate isn't right for human, like, looking at it.
Mm.
And it's too much information for your brain to compress, I think. And so it
Mm.
causes vision problems. Um, and so, yeah, time away, um, like the old mom used to tell you, you hit your 3 hours, walk away from it.
Yeah. I
And
never heard that.
no, my mom
No.
used to say stuff like that. Like, oh, you get 3 hours to play Atari, you know?
Oh yeah, I remember those days. Yeah, we had the Atari, we had the what was the other one? The just the regular Nintendo and uh
Oh, the Sega Genesis.
Sega. Yeah.
Those were the first ones before the PlayStation, before all those interesting ones. Um,
Yeah. Then we had
I
just the landlines. Then we had just had the landline phones. Remember those? Just it was crazy.
Oh, dude, every one of my houses is just like a sitcom. The phone was attached somewhere on a wall in the kitchen, in between the kitchen and the front room. You know, and it's just like, why can't you put the phone over there? Or you know, and it was like, I remember fighting my dad about arguing with him about getting a what's it called, an antenna phone
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
with no cord.
Hey, just in from God. Hey, how are you? Hi, I'm
Well, they
seeing
said
so much now. I'm also having to seeing issues. What are you seeing for issues? What issues are you seeing?
Oh, I think they said seeing issues, like with eyes, because I mentioned probably about the watching. Like 3 years ago, I used to watch everything on a giant tablet, and then I got rid of my Wi-Fi, and then I can't use my tablet anymore. So then I went to a tiny phone, you know, and it really causes problems with your vision. Um, I think that you get more out of like watching a movie on your TV than you do watching a movie on your tablet. I mean, watching a movie on,
Mm.
you know. Um,
I've been deep diving on like I've been watching a lot of YouTube, but it's been audiobooks, listening to books like Bronx Spinoza, uh, a lot of Jordan Maxwell, and just I guess it's more like and Manly P. Hall was another guy that I've been deep diving into. So I've been just trying to go on to like just trying to learn more knowledge, and I've been just like just I don't know, I'm just learning,
B
trying to get.
mentioned, B started using audiobooks, but she said that the information that she retains from it is far less than the physical book.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. Yeah, because I mentioned that in one of my live videos too. You get so much more out of a book, especially if it's something you're interested in. I'll end up reading a whole book in a day because I can't put it down. It's
Yeah.
something in it, it's something about it that's just a connection. And I have a lot of that too with music. For instance, Van Morrison. I've been on a Van Morrison kick. I can't get enough of Van Morrison. Hey, how you doing there, Boney? You look a little skinny today.
Yeah. So that's Hi.
Hey, Skull and Bones, right?
Costs like $10, man.
What's your
Um,
plan with that? What's your great plan with that?
I don't know. B bought it, and she just always wanted a full size skeleton, and she was like, "Shane, I want a full size skeleton." I'm
Hmm.
all okay. Like, what are you talking about on a stick? You know, like the teacher had. That's kind of big. And she's all, "No, this one folds up." And I'm like, "Oh, it's something you already looked at." I'm like, "Oh, okay. You know, then go for it. I think it'd be cool for Halloween, right?" We're gonna put him on the wall. She said she's been looking for 3 years for something like that's more than just a plastic thing, you know, that looks real. And there's a little wall out in front of my house, you know, like a yard wall, a retainer wall. And we're going to sit him on the wall. And I bet
Cool.
you people at this park are going to flip.
Hey, is
They'll
the
probably,
sun gone down outside yet or no?
no, we haven't put it outside yet. We just got it
No,
today.
is it
Oh,
still sunny outside?
oh no.
No.
No, it's getting dark now at about 7:04.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're starting on our way down, you know. Um, we're in a time of year where it's never sunny. Um, we get sun like today was sunny for maybe like 3 hours.
And then just all clouds.
There's clouds, but for every
Jeez.
day. It's already rained 3 times this month.
Yeah.
I got a calendar on my phone, and I keep putting a little mark every time it rains now, and I want to see how many days out of the year it rains, just for fun. But then
Right.
I was like, well, what does that create? I'm all that doesn't create anything except anger. You know?
Yeah, you're starting to sound like me with I mean, that because Maine just had a reverse, man. I'm loving Maine weather right now. It's in the 70s, sunny. You can't
We were
beat it. It's
talking about
perfect
that
weather.
because I think the planet is like tilted,
Yeah.
and you're over here, but we're level usually. But then
Yeah.
when it levels upwards, then I'm like higher towards the north, and you're lower towards the south. You know,
Yeah.
but usually you're up here, and we're down lower. You know,
Something's changed, and I'm not complaining whatsoever because I'm loving it, man. I'm loving
wouldn't you
it.
have snow by now?
Yeah, it would start being yeah. It's cold it's chilly in the mornings though. It gets like 45, 46 degrees. It's a little bit chilly. But then
Yeah,
as soon as the sun comes up over the horizon, dude, it's like, man, it's instant warmth. And then it's warm until the sun goes down around 7, you know, and then you can feel it. It's just like,
and
man,
then
it's cold.
yeah, take away the sun, and it'll drop 10 degrees. You know,
Yeah,
like
but it's
it's
not like the middle of the summer, In the summertime, you had the warm evenings where it stayed like mid 60s, fairly warm. But yeah,
man. I loved my 2 trips to Maine. They were just so awesome. I went during the summertime, and not at the no spring. Yeah, I guess it was springtime around June. I think once was in April, and
mm.
I don't know if I experienced a rural part of Maine, or if that's what Maine was like, or you know, but it was
Where'd you
awesome.
go? You went to Bangor, right? You were Bangor area.
Bangor.
Is that where you
Yeah,
guys were staying? So
yeah.
yeah, that's north. That's 45 minutes north of me. So you're up in like the county area, the northern part of Maine.
Yeah,
But
it's
one
like
of the biggest.
everybody had huge yards and huge houses, and you know, and the town was tiny.
What town was it? Do you remember the name?
Yeah, I want to say it was Augusta.
Okay, so that's southern. Yeah. So Augusta, that's 45 minutes south of me.
Oh,
That's
south.
in the Yeah, that's in the center. Like Augusta is our capital of our state, and it's pretty much right in the center of the state. Well, not center. I would
I
say
saw a big old
Bangor is
river.
more of the center.
Saw a big old river that went through that town.
Kennebec. That's the
Yeah.
river I live. I live on the Kennebec. That's
Oh,
the river
really?
I live on.
Man, we went to all these people's houses, and almost everybody lived on the Kennebec, and just like big old backyard uh, um, platforms, that sit there over the river, and just such a killer view.
Yeah.
The people were super nice, you know. Um,
Times have changed though. You came in 2008, right? I mean, I this is another thing that I really got out of that Chase Hughes was, what we're seeing on social media too is not what we're seeing every day. You know what I mean? We're not seeing that violence as much per se. I'm
right,
not seeing it.
right.
So
No, it's true with a lot of the things. You could take any subject, and then I look around my area and my house. I mean, my area around my house, and it's not the same. It's like,
no.
so how much of it is true? And more just to incite the side that lost. The side that lost is inciting the side that lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
And um, maybe they need to do away with the sides. Like everybody's just the same. They're like, you know, no Republicans, no Democrats, no nothing. We're just politicians, or something.
yeah. I told you last night that I think we need a smaller government and we need less involvement of the government and more power to the states. That's what we need.
I think that's true.
And shorter terms. I think we need way shorter terms. We don't need a president for 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. We
We
don't
don't need
need
we don't need
Congress.
congressmen being a lifer. You know what I mean? Two years is max. They don't need more than 2 years.
And I think about like people that are in their 80s, I don't know. I wouldn't want my grandpa running the country or uh, being part of Congress running the country,
Mm.
you know?
No,
And
another thing I said last night was I think we should have farmers, and I mean local farmers, co-op farmers. I'm not talking big conglomerate farmers. I'm talking the small guy that knows how to struggle, knows how to do things with very little. That's what we need to run this country. We don't need a rich businessman. We need someone with a big backbone that's a hard, that's not going to just back down. He's going to have his pitchfork and his shovel. So I don't know. I just
and
know that the only way any of this is ever going to change is more conversations like this with people.
it's true. It's
Yeah,
true. And the people's ability to do that. And then
yeah,
if we all of us small guys can do it, meaning the public, then maybe that'll spew over to the people that it matters, and
yeah.
they can start talking and work it out, whatever they're arguing about, you know?
For an example, you and I are a great example of this can happen because we've never met each other in person.
It's
We
true.
don't know each other from Adam. We're going on what are we going on? I'm going on my gut instinct, on my feelings towards you. You know what I'm saying? And so you and I could be the perfect example of yes, this is completely possible. We're not the only ones doing it. It just needs to be more shown publicly in social media that this is real. This
Right.
is what's happening. This is what can be happening. This is
And
possible.
what have we done? We found similarities in each other. And
Absolutely.
even though we're 4,000 miles away and we live different lives, but similar lives.
Four
And yet,
hours times we're 4 hours times difference. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing too.
yeah,
You know what
it's
I mean?
always
That's showing well, it's just showing the respect that we have towards each other. I'm hours after my bedtime. You know what I mean? So this is just showing that mutual respect for each other and to understand that we are different.
it's like one
But
there. It's 1 o'clock.
it's 12:11.
Hmm. But yeah, if somebody like us can do it and just find enjoyment out of it, then why can't others just get along in a simple, they don't even have to be friends. They could
No.
just have acceptance and understanding, you know.
One
Um
good thing about this is I'm so grateful that in the comment section we haven't had anything that was anything negative. It's been all really like really hospitable, respectful. I really commend that tonight. I'm very, very happy about that.
well, it's probably they're all from your channel, you know, and so you got a really good group of people that are around your channel.
Yeah, it's the real
You know,
ones. You know what I mean? I call them the real ones because even though I'm more than likely, I've got the group of people on my channel that, irregardless if they don't like the content that I'm producing, they're going to still show that respect and dignity because they know that I'm going to do the same for them. I'm not going to go there and bash anybody and be disrespectful. And I just want to say thank you to the two that are in the chat right now. I appreciate it, even though you're not coming in here and commenting. I understand completely. I'm just glad you're here and you're interacting with us and listening. Thanks a
yeah,
lot for being here.
yeah, it's important, and it's good for the person too to like engage in conversations that aren't necessarily about that big topic, or like, currently just arguing about one thing.
Right.
You got to engage at different stuff. I think that's good for you. Try to mix it up a little bit too. You know, um, and that's important. Now, I think someday we're gonna meet. I think so. You know,
I know.
um,
Yeah, it's good. And it's going to be fully documented too, because my journey will be documented. Because I can't wait. I've already got it in my head. The moment we meet, I'm giving you the biggest hug in the world, man. Because I want to give you a hug right through the camera sometimes. Because we've called each other on many nights, and we've both been uplifting for each other at certain moments. It's like we know divinely we need to talk to each other, and then when we do end up talking to each other, it's a breath of fresh air for one another. You know what I mean? It gives us that it's like, you know what? We really did need this. It
you,
was meant to be
you
this
helped me
way.
a lot the other day when you talked to me, and we talked about my working, and
Yeah.
it today, me, when I put down the phone, B put down the phone too, and then we just sat there and talked for like hours
Mm,
about that subject, about where am I supposed to be, what am I supposed to be doing, and my regrets, or my thoughts of like debt, of what I thought I owed,
mm,
but things like that didn't exist. And
exactly.
but you helped me a lot, and I appreciate that. It really does matter. Like when conversations matter, you
Yeah, I
know,
appreciate that. Thank you, Shane, for that compliment.
and,
But
and
I'm
it's
not
like,
here. I'm that's what I'm here for. I mean, that's my intention. That's my purpose is to be there when someone, if I'm there and I'm in need of somebody at that time, then great. That's awesome. It's the uncomfortable positions that you get put into when you know that the feeling, um, and that's the thing. It's very leery for me because now it's very important to not share my energy or give it away freely. It's something that should be cherished and appreciated by the
totally
person you're sharing it with.
that
It's very important.
it's you brought that up, to help people, or to help people emotionally, is it draws you emotionally.
Yeah.
And as long as it's the right type of draw, it's okay for a person's soul. And in fact, it
Right.
helps your own soul,
It heals it. It
but
heals it. It heals it.
when a person's drawing you negatively and you're not getting anything in return, man, that's tiring, and it sucks you dry, and it's not good. um I mean, I wish everybody on the planet had a buddy that they could call and talk them down from a tree, you know.
Yeah. 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 But the thing is though, that's already real. People are doing that. every single day. It's just it's not being broadcast,
Right.
and that's another thing that hangs me up. That I hate going to like video something that I'm doing good because I don't feel that I need to be advertising something that I'm doing that I should be doing without anything in return. You know what I'm saying? So from my perspective, there's a lot of things that maybe I should video, but I don't feel the need to because some things need to be maintained private. We need to maintain some form of privacy, and things are better left unnoticed and done without anybody seeing it. You know what I mean? I was in, and this is the perfect example. I went into Family Dollar the other day, and I didn't even, it didn't even matter to me. But this woman, she was having a hard time coming up with what she had on the counter, and she was nervous, and she was, you knew that she didn't have the money, right? She's
Yeah, like
fucking ripping, she's ripping her wallet apart,
you
right?
can feel
For
it. You can
for a
feel
dollar,
it.
yeah, for a dollar 50. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know what, ma'am? Here you go. And I gave her $2. And
It's
did I
yours.
know that she was homeless? Did I know she wasn't dressed like she was homeless, but
Oh,
she was homeless as hell. She
ah,
didn't have a place to go. And I didn't know that until I get outside the store. And she literally waited for me to leave to make it known that she was so grateful that I had done that, that I didn't have to do it. And what did
wow.
she have to do? Then she asked me, she's like, what do I need to do for you? I said, you know what you need to do? You need to go pay this forward. And if there's something that you can do loving and kind for somebody else, then you've already paid me. And these things happen to me so frequently um, that I don't even think about it nowadays. And it's the true purity of who you really are. Are you going to set aside your indifferences and not judge people? That's who I am. I don't judge anybody.
In 1994, I was walking out of McDonald's, and in San Diego, and I had already eaten some of it. I ordered a whole bunch of quarter pounders, and I ate some of them. And came walking out, and I had a quarter pounder and a bag of fries left. And there's this homeless guy, and he's sitting on the ground. And he's all, "Hey," he's all, "You got any money? I'm really hungry. I'm really hungry." And I'm all, "Really?" I'm all, "Would you like a quarter pounder?" And he goes, and he's missing all these teeth. And he goes, "With cheese?" And I'm all, "Hell yeah, with cheese," like that. And he goes, "Hell yeah." And I hand it to him, and he goes, "Well, you don't have to leave." I'm all, all right. And I sat down on the curb, and I sat there for, yeah, that's a good water, guys.
Yeah, it is. See,
Yummy.
in my it's the best water in the world. Hey, I know. Hey, I got one of those. Let me show
Yeah,
you mine.
watching you live, and I'm all, "Dude, you carry that in your back pocket?" I was
I
like, "It's a
carry my
little much."
I carry it in my front pocket, bro.
People watching this are thinking we're part of a cult or something because we got
Yeah, right.
puck.
It's my it's my tin can. You know what I mean?
It's organite, guys.
Yeah, it's organite.
Why did you paint this one? The paint doesn't.
Actually, that wasn't originally for you. That was something that I made for someone else that I never gave it to. But then I ended up paint my grandson helped me paint that.
Is that gold?
I I don't remember the last time what I made. Oh no, that's a piece of quartz. It looks like
Yeah.
quartz, or it could be Formica. I don't know. It's been so long. I remember making that one though.
Um, the top like slowly deteriorates.
Yeah, did you put it in water?
No,
Did you?
it's never been in water. But then
No.
you put what's it called, the steel wool,
Yes. Yeah, and you
and it
could
pokes
feel it.
out,
You could
and
feel
so
it in the
that's how you
bottom.
know it's breaking down on the top. And
Yeah.
but why does the bottom not break down, but the top did? Because the energy is coming through it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because mine, if you look at mine's similar to that. The top, it looks great, right? But the bottom's starting to see how the bottom's starting to fade right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll eventually be all that.
I wonder if I could polish it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you could. Yeah. You could actually put another clear coat on it if you wanted to.
There was one time that it was just not too long ago, and I hadn't talked to you in a couple months, and I tried calling you, and then, you were busy, and then I went over like this, and I'm all, give me a call, Will, give me a call, like that, and then you called like the next day. Well, probably a coincidence because I called and you were just returning my call, but
Yeah,
um,
well, you could it's psychosomatic, right?
can you absorb it through your skin? Like,
Absolutely, yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
I got another one right here that's kind of weird looking, but I want to show everybody it. It looks like I don't know what you would want to call it, but it's this is another piece of organite. This thing's super heavy. It's like 2 pounds of just pure metal. I filled this thing with bottle caps, all kinds of crushed. That's quartz, and then I got a big old. There's a piece right there on the end.
you use like
But
a 2 liter bottle or something, or a big plastic bottle, huh?
yeah, I used this bottle right here. I just cut it
Okay.
and then I just popped it in. If it would fit right in there nicely. But yeah, this is a nice piece too.
I swear, like when I saw that other one you
The
did that
bottle
you
cap.
keep in your car,
My car one, yeah, my
the
pyramid.
triangle, I swear you could sell that, man. I mean, it's nice enough that it looks like you could sell it, and
Oh, absolutely.
if you had it available, you know, that'd be a killer merch to sell. But I don't know if you'd want to be selling that. Maybe that's why you don't do it. It's because it's not for
I
sale. It's not.
It's not for sale. No, it's not for sale. I prefer to gift it. That looks like a booby, don't it?
Looks like a booby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It makes me think of the boobies on like the Egyptian sculptures.
Yeah. I got a bunch of it over here, man. I keep it all in one. I keep it all where all my electronics are, really, to absorb the deadly DOR energy that I have. The world has produced. But you want to talk about some steel wool, buddy? I can show you one that's got some steel wool. This one right here is pretty deep. This one's all messed. This was a mess up one that I just kept because um, I don't like to throw them away because they still work even if they look ugly. But this one's
So,
pretty beat up. Look at this one.
oh wow, it looks like a turd.
It looks like a turd, yeah. And then I have this as the top one. This is the top, but it's
So,
just as potent.
so explain to me, Will, real quick. Do they absorb and discharge?
Yes, that's exactly what they're designed to do. They're designed to absorb, especially a pyramid, all sides. And then what happens is when the energy penetrates the inorganic and organic material inside this pyramid, it goes in and then it's neutralized through the copper and the quartz, and then it's transmuted as a neutral energy instead of a deadly one.
I wonder if
Yeah.
it can, like, does the phone put out negative?
Yeah, I call it, if you it's negative DOR energy, which is it's deadly orgone energy.
So,
It
like,
means it's not healthy.
put your phone on top of this every night.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know how sometimes your phone gets really hot, really
Yeah.
warm because you use it? Um, do a little trick and put that on your phone, and within like maybe 30, 40 seconds, your phone will be significantly cooler.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Wilhelm Reich is the guy that I learned all this stuff from. And
Yeah.
he's the guy that created orgone, which is the same thing as prana and chi. Um, it's
He's
you
a
can
Maynard.
harness, you can definitely harness energy. It's real. So
Yeah. I wish I could do my own little. I wish everybody could figure out a way to design something for themselves, and then run their own house on it. Um,
absolutely.
there's this kid. Well, I call him a kid, but when I started watching him, he was 18, and I think now he's like 25. And his channel's name is like Natural Lab, Nature's
Oh,
Lab, and he's a I'm trying to think of the right word to say. You know, he's a African American or whatever. He's got dreads. You know, he's quite a character, and he's
Oh,
super
so
intelligent.
yeah,
And he makes plastic into gasoline
yeah. I think I seen one of those videos.
with a machine he built in high school.
That's
And
amazing.
now he's got so he blew himself up, you know, at his property. I mean, at his parents' house. And then the neighbors kind of filed something against him that said that he couldn't do that anymore. You know, so the internet gifted him all the money and the property to be able to do that. And so he set up this thing at a property, and now he has solar panels. He didn't even have like a rack or anything like that. He just took the panels and threw them down over the grass, you know, and it powers his like 72 gigawatt machine that runs 7 microwave bangs that turn the plastic into back into fuel with it has no exhaust, it has no byproduct. It splits it turns it into natural gas, and it turns it into fuel.
Hmm.
And depending on the type of plastic is the type of, like, if you get diesel fuel or jet fuel or whatever. And now his machine's pumping at 110 octane,
Wow.
and it's all free. Like, I mean, it's all runs by itself. It's not even hooked to the grid or anything. He has all these containers, that the professional natural gas containers that he fills the gas. And it was just a great thought, a great thought, and a different way to deal with it, deal with the problem of plastic, you know. Um, Super smart guy. Um, but yeah, I wish I could invent something like that.
Oh, you could do it. I mean,
I
you're a
want.
hell of a creative. You're a creative mind, man. You've made a lot of puppets and stuff. You're a very creative guy.
Oh, thanks. Um, I have a windmill thing that I want to make, and I have all the parts. I just haven't decided to do it yet. You know.
Yeah, I hear you.
Uh, so the parts are all like coil, copper coil.
Mm-hmm.
And so to generate electricity, you need a magnets going over copper coils. And the bigger the coil, the bigger the magnet, the stronger the magnet, is how good it'll work. And so you have the base, and the base doesn't spin. The base has the copper units on them. So I have 7, and I have 7 of these. Sorry. They're about this big, solid copper, and it's a
Oh yeah.
coil, and it came out of a street light. And so they even have leads that I could solder onto for wiring. And so then I started collecting speaker magnets. And I
Yeah.
had all these speakers, dude. I probably had like 20 speakers. And I started disassembling them. So now I have a stack of these round magnets. And so I'm going to use a bicycle tire, two bicycle tires, and they're going to be attached with the fins that the wind will push it. And on the bottom of the tire will be the magnets glued.
Very cool.
Magnets will go over the copper coil like this, like in a channel, like that, But I have all the parts. I just have to decide to do it. A buddy of mine said that I'll end up catching something fire, or producing too much electricity and catching a fire. But I think it'll work. I think it'll produce some voltage.
Yeah, I think so too.
Wouldn't it be cool to have no power, Bill?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'd be really cool to be debt free.
Yeah. That's why, Will, I never got credit cards because of that. I
Yeah, true story.
refused to, man. And my buddy, his dad taught him to get credit. he had my buddy having a credit card by the time he was 14, and by the time he was 21, my buddy had a $100,000 card, and then now he has a limitless card. Like he could put $1 million on it, you know.
Yeah, I got a
And
brother-in-law's the same way. They live on those credit cards.
but he has like $15,000 in debt, and I'm $0 in debt. I mean, I don't like when I deal with my mom and dad, and they ask me about my bills or how you doing, because they're so used to my little brother and his wife and my nephew and his wife. All of them have brand new cars. Both people in the couple, you know, are
Oh,
like my brother and his wife both have brand new cars, both have the insurance to pay, and so each one of them are paying like almost $700-800 a month on just the car, you know. And I've never owned, like I had one time, I think it was in 2000, I bought a car, you know, and paid it off, in 5 years, and that's the only car I ever bought that was like that. But all my other cars I bought for $500 or $1,000, or my truck where I got for free. And so, and then I don't have credit card debt, I don't have car debt, um, and so it's we're closer to living with no debt. But it irritates me to be a human and to have to live on this planet and have to pay for all these things that you need, like to drink water and to wipe your butt, and to have water to go to the bathroom and to shower, those type of things. It sucks that life costs money, and
a
it
lot of
shouldn't
yeah,
be.
yeah, but I think for me, from that perspective, what you just said is looking at it from a very selfish perspective, because we got to look at third world countries and see how they live. We have it made here in the United States in a lot of ways.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just Philippines for instance, they have constant blackouts, man, where they lose power
Yeah.
and they don't know when it's coming back on. I mean, that's a different way of life. I don't know. That'd be hard to get used to because living in America, we don't deal with that stuff. So there's a
Right.
lot of stuff that Americans take for granted that all these other countries say, Jesus Christ, why are you guys saying that? We don't have half of what you guys have. So
Right.
we have to be kind of curious of what very, very cautious of what we're saying, or actually be consciously aware of what we're saying and how we are pretty grateful. You shouldn't be like, it shouldn't suck. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, because it's a modern amenity. Like people in the Philippines, they just go and crap in the river or crap in a hole that they dug. You know, um, they don't have running toilets, at least not
You know, and that's
in the
just one
neighborhood.
example. I'm sure there's other countries. I mean, there's places right here in Maine that still have places that live off the grid in little communities like that. You know what I'm saying? That I'm not saying anything bad about it. What I'm saying is we as Americans should be very grateful to be in this country, to have the opportunity to be able to speak to constituents like you and me, and be grateful that we do have water, grateful that we have the electricity that's on constantly, a vehicle to drive, whether it's a payment or paid off. Gratitude is the most important thing for the human psyche. Being grateful is very important.
And just where you are in your life, you should be grateful instead of worrying about what I didn't do. I
Well,
heard it.
more people are going to be more attracted to your energy if you're grateful and appreciative and being honest about what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? They're going to really think that, all right, this guy is who he is, and he sees the world not from a tunnel vision. He sees it from a worldly perspective, and that's what we all should be thinking. Think it from a worldly perspective, because again, we're all mirrors, man. We're all one and the same at the end of the day. Bob Marley said it the best. It's one love.
One love.
Bob Marley was a magnificent man that was assassinated, in my opinion, but
Yeah,
he was another guy, a freedom fighter. just like Charles Kirk, in my opinion. We could
Yep.
go on and on about these wonderful people that tried to do right, that stood up. And that's one of my biggest fears, man. This is what went through my mind the moment I heard about the shooting. Here's a guy that was trying to fight for human rights, just like MK or Martin Luther King did the same thing.
MGK.
Malcolm X, yeah, all these people that tried to stand up. This is an example that the elites are trying to say. You going to stand up? You
Yeah.
want to fucking fight for your freedom and peace? We're going to get rid of you, dude. And
Yep.
here's the example. We made this guy a martyr. So to me, when they filmed this, they were setting a statement to the American public. You want to start doing that? You might be next. You might be on the next list. So
That's
it's
right.
showing that fear. And I don't
And there,
know,
there
man.
was there was 3,000 kids, college kids attending that. You know,
Well, and that's going to be an event that they'll never forget for the rest of their life.
no, they'll be pretty traumatized about it. Watched a lot of video of people's private video, from their camera, and it shows a lot of people are scared, and a lot of people they don't even know what to do. They don't even know where to run. You know, um, a lot of people hid underneath this over walking pass, and it was like undercover, and it was right behind the tent, and so everybody hid inside there against the wall because the shot came from above.
And
And
the other thing is my heart goes out to the family. Charles Kirk's family, those children are now going to have to deal with this for the rest of their life, that trauma. And to understand losing a loved one there was no reason for it. You know what I'm saying? How does a child uh recoup from this?
yeah,
It's
it's like
because, I mean, that's hard. And even the wife, it's
the kid grows up and goes, I just lost my dad because he decided to have conversations with people. Why didn't he just not have the conversations?
right.
And hopefully he'll grow up knowing, and he'll probably be a revolutionarist, or whatever the word you want to call it.
That
Somebody that brings out, like Charlie Kirk, like his father.
Yeah,
He'll
hopefully
bring
he picks up his apron and does something good for the world. You know what I
out,
mean?
a quote that I heard is a little sidebarish, but a little quote I heard was that when you die, when you're about to die, um, people live their life. They say no regrets, but during that time, they sit in the hospital bed knowing they're about to die if they're lucky, you know, and to know that it's coming, and they regret. What do they regret? Not the things they did and why we live. Like I was talking to you, like, oh, I regret what I did in 2019 and stopped working, or I regret this. And while you're living, you only regret those things that you already did. But when it comes time to the end, you're going to regret all the things you didn't do.
Mm,
And so when you're scared to do something, you need to think about that and think about when I'm dying, I'm going to regret not, like people say, am I going to regret this? Should I
mm.
do this? Well, you're going to regret not doing something, not which way you went, you know.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and people are so cautious, and it's like, for me, it's very important to really think about what I'm going to say, because the fear is I'm going to say something that's going to offend somebody. But nowadays, my idea about that is I'm not going to be able to appease anybody or everyone. And I'm just going to say what I have to say, but in a respectful way. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it goes, you just got to have that faith that we're all human beings. We're not going to say, you know what I'm saying? I don't really know what to say per se. I'm getting tired, man. It must be almost 1 o'clock now. It's 12:40. It's been a long day for me. I get up early in the mornings. I'm usually up by 5. We got 2 in the chat. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Oh, 1 now. Appreciate it. But, it's quiet. It's quiet. I wanna go out to my car, dude, and grab my little pipe. I'm gonna go do that real quick. You guys are gonna be in the dark for a minute. Dun, dun, dun. Oh my god, is it cold outside, bro? Or did you go silent on me there, Shano? I can't I can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I accidentally pressed the button, I guess. I pressed the mic button.
Dude, I'm in the dark.
In the dark. Just glad there's no snow there.
Oh, yeah, and I'm glad too.
So
Won't
some of
lock
those
the door
winters I
anymore.
worried about you, man. I was just like your psyche, you know, and
Yeah.
it's something I don't even know. I know of it because I lived in boot camp, you know, and I lived in Chicago for 4 months, you know, and it was all snow. But that was like you're so busy. There was no cabin fever because you were busy, you know, and stuff like that. And so it's a little harder. But um, even when there's no snow, I mean, the rest of us around the United States during the year, we're in our houses too. You know, like here, it's so wet all the time that you know you're not doing nothing. You're not going to go to the beach because you're not going to have a good time. You're not going to go to the mountains because you're afraid of timber falling on you. You know,
Yeah,
and so
I wanted to go ahead.
you would. You-
Sad. No, I was trying to go to the beach today, but I didn't get there. I had so much stuff to do today.
Um, B brought this up. It was like in 21 when I was TikToking, and I was TikToking with this guy, and you know, I had the puppet, and the guy was a gnome. You know what a gnome is?
Yeah.
You know, and so he was a gnome, but he's a real gnome. Like he had a beard, and he wore a hat. You know,
Yeah.
and he was going to be on a movie, uh, Half Baked #2. Hasn't come out yet, but he's in that movie, and so we were TikToking live with him, and he operated a store on the coast in Oregon, a head shop. And so it was Halloween, and he just said on the live, he was like, "Hey, why don't you come down here and I'll give you some candy?" And he holds up some weed, and I'm all, "I'm there, man." And he's all said something like, "The first one that comes here gets this weed." And there were 6 of us all over the country, and I'm all, fuck. I said, that's down this. I said, it's about an hour away. I said, I'm there. And so I told B, I was like, get your stuff. We're going. And there was a total storm, like a bad storm, man. And we just drove right into the 75 miles into the mountains, to the coast, and hooked up with that guy. And then me and him went on live together at a store. And
No
it was just
shit.
really, such a weird sporadic thing, and I was so scared to do it, but I just did it, you know. And it
And did you,
was life building, you know. It was, but what's funny is that you go back to the memory thing. I have more memories, and I can remember every moment of going to that his store and going on live with him, but not the live feeds before that. Like I don't remember anything that we talked about or anything. And so there was no memory tension. But when I did it for real, then there was memory tension.
okay, yeah.
And that was, I don't know, just something to point out that you still need that, um, you know, the physical part. I mean, you guys got it down. You guys stay active enough with your kids. But what, there's like 8 months out of the year that there's no outdoor things to do, right? Is there indoor things to do?
Well, not really. I mean, we have an indoor pool at my wife's work that we can go and do that, swimming and stuff. But
But not.
oh, whoops, what's going on? Oh, you're live. Huh, thought I was live. It just started over again.
You want me to let you go?
It just started over again. Must be 1 o'clock.
My counter is still counting.
Mine went back to 16.
Mine says an
16.
hour and 52 minutes.
Yeah, mine went back down to 23 seconds, 24 seconds. I don't know. It's crazy. Must have shut us off.
I think this will log on my channel. I'm not sure. It seems like
Maybe.
some of the lives that we've done, it shows up on my channel. I don't know how.
That's cool.
I liked your poem. I can't particularly remember it, but there was a poem this morning that you did, and I was just, oh yeah. I was like, that it resonated with me.
Was it because I did two of them today. I did
Einstein's.
Nimrod and Einstein. I did
That's the one it was.
Einstein, yeah.
So was that Einstein's word?
It was my word. I maybe it came from him. I don't know. I mean, it came to my ear
Oh, okay.
and I just wrote it down on paper.
Oh, that's what I meant. I thought you like took it out of something Einstein said in the past.
No, I wrote that from my own words, and then I asked for a title and it said just write Einstein. So I just wrote Einstein. And then I found that picture with Einstein holding that sign up. I said, that's a perfect picture.
Yeah.
So I used it.
I was trying to do a collab with it, but it involved me having to show a picture or show my face, and I didn't really have anything for that because it wasn't about me, you know. And so I didn't know. I wish I could have just posted it on my channel, you know.
You can post it on your community channel.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, you just go down to share and it'll ask you if you want to add it to your post in your community, and you just press community post and then post it.
Is that a clock behind your head?
It's actually part of an old windmill.
Oh, I was gonna say, was that an airplane part?
I have this sign too that says, "I have found the one whom my soul loves."
Wow.
I don't know if you can see it.
So let me ask you this: if our person and our personality is who we are, right? You're Will, I'm Shane, and when we die, though, that's not the personality of our soul.
No,
It's almost like a different person.
but your voice will never change. I don't know if you've had dreams, right? You've had dreams at night, and you're talking to somebody, and you hear it as your voice, correct?
Right. And you talk in
So
English.
your voice won't change. You'll always recognize the voice, even of the soul.
Huh. I've always thought that I'm kind of
You just
messed up in the head or something, because when I dream, um, all my life, people in my dream have no face.
That's not unnormal.
It's like a total mannequin, no face at all.
Yeah, you're in a different realm. But
It-
you don't how can you recognize the person though it's in your dream if they don't have a face?
I don't know. They're dressed as that person, you
Okay.
know. Um, but like my brother had a big beard, but I don't see a beard, and I don't see his lips moving. I don't see his face, and
But you
it's
can hear
almost
his
like
voice.
almost every dream that has somebody there, they're like this. They're behind me, Will, talking to me, you know. Um, but yeah, I thought that, like, okay, so if you if you are in control of reincarnating yourself and deciding if your soul has gotten enough knowledge, then what you just got out of your body, and that time through when you were Shane or when you were Will, that was just one of them. And so then you go back to your soul. Somebody said that no, your new person, you added to your soul.
Mm.
So now you're, I don't know. So if you kept going, right? Like that's if you believe in reincarnation or not. And a lot of people do. But if you keep reincarnating, and every time you're a new person, individual, and so where do those people go? Every time you reincarnate.
Well, from my perspective, from my understanding, we only can be reincarnated 66 times,
Wow, where'd you get a number like that?
and you're reincarnated 30 times as a female and 30 times as a male. So when we come back, we're not William or Shane.
Right.
We reincarnated whatever we agreed on our soul contract before when we made it with the Grand Creator to come back here. We've already decided that we were already gonna, like, me personally. This is my personal opinion. This is probably my last time on this Earth plane
You think so?
because I've completed the cycle. I've already been the female. I've already been the male. I'm already starting to combine the female and the male divinity as one. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I come up with this idea through conversations I had with my brother, my middle-aged brother Albert. We talked about this for hours and hours and hours about how the realization is everything that we are experiencing here on Earth, we've already planned it. We've already been here and we've done it multiple times. It's been a teaching. This is the only place that soul can learn in a physical body and have the experience too.
So it makes me think. It makes me think what I just said. Okay, so Shane doesn't get to keep living because the girl version isn't here and doesn't have a voice, and so yourself, your individualism, will die
It's,
with you.
the soul will never die.
But then so you're part of the soul. But how much are you, your identity, part of your soul? 100%.
It's what makes you up. I mean, your soul is inside itself, this body that you this vessel that we're in. And when this body dies, that certain amount of weight that is reduced from the body is the true essence of who you really are. No, you don't make sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Especially when I was just watching, that about that same show was they were talking about how your body needs a couple of days to adjust after death because your thoughts, normally when you're alive, are going through physical matter to translate to thoughts. But when you're dead, your thoughts don't go through physical matter.
Sorry.
And so, wait a minute. So if you die, all your thoughts die with you. Because
No, no, because your soul is the consciousness. Your soul is the source of thought. Your brain's only the computer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the matter. You're taking this body, right? It's a metaphysical thing, and you're trying to compare it to a soul that's immortal.
Immortal and non-physical,
Right. We're
non-material.
talking about the physical body here. Non-material, right? Exactly.
And so they say, like, when you die, that you yourself, your soul, will look at your life like a bowl, a mixing bowl, and look in there and see what it did and see what it learned from and all that. And then they make their decision if they want to go again, or if they're done, they want to go to the other place, you know. And
I don't I don't feel that you necessarily die per se. I don't think the body or the consciousness realizes you're dead.
right,
I don't believe that. I don't believe that whatsoever, because if that was the case, then that consciousness would die too. That soul would be dead. So it doesn't make sense. Your soul has to carry on with the same consciousness it was left with the last time that body was left. So you can recover from the amnesia when you come back the next time. And that's when we're a child. And I remember as a child being so innocent, the purity sense of what God really is in the baby child. Perfect example. They can talk to people that aren't even there. And then we tell them they're crazy, but they're actually talking to spirits that we can't see, but they can.
why? Because they're more connected to the ether
They're
than
more connected. That veil between this dimension and the spiritual world is much thinner with a child than it is an adult. If you're not waking up, that pineal gland has to be decalcified for us to make that connection to the divine source. And it can
there's
only
some.
be done, and it can only be done in meditation. And it has to be quiet to be able to make that feeling. I don't know. I'm just saying you from what my perception is. I don't know if it's the truth.
Yeah. No, I've had an epiphany in the last couple of days, dude. Seriously, about death. About, like, I just thought that maybe you just die and that's it. Maybe possibly, but
It's
after
impossible.
knows about, and I know how strong your will is and your mind power, and that's a lot of energy to just disappear. And so it doesn't disappear. It can't. And then
It's
if you
impossible.
look at the story of, like, the whole reincarnation thing, then it makes purpose. You
Yeah.
understand, you know, there's
Yes.
probably only so many souls that are recycling.
Well,
Not
here's
in,
that's a different. Okay, so this is a different subject, but yes, you're talking not being able to get out of the cycle because they sold their soul one way or another to be kept here to help towards the darkness fighting against the light. They're using, they're stealing souls to stay here to, how do I say this? Yes, they're being trapped. Souls are being trapped on purpose to deliberately leave them in cycles so they can't find their true life's purpose. Does that make sense?
well, yeah, they said that many souls get trapped in their own loop, and they will never they won't leave them looking over their life.
The biggest
And
thing you're going to have to remember with that is you need to learn to detach yourself from what really love is and your attachment to other people in that direct way. You can love somebody, but not be emotionally attached to it. Does that make sense?
right,
Once you can learn that on this earth plane, and I'm working on the codependency thing really a lot right now because that's something that God keeps trying to remind me hey, look, Will, you're going to learn to be less codependent. You need to start doing things on your own because my whole entire life, 33 years that I've been with my wife, I've never done anything without her. And that's something that God keeps reminding me of. That
huh,
there's going to be that's one thing that I need to work on, what it feels like to be independently responsible for just me. And it's constantly reminding me too that you can coexist very well. And I'm talking to me as a third person. Um, and there are things that I can learn in an environment, but it's something that I've never done. I've never been able to gone on. I've never been able to have the faith or the confidence or without fear to go and do a retreat or go and do something just for myself,
Yeah.
for personal growth, because I've always put others before me. And God's trying to remind me that I have to start reminding myself, you need to do something for you. And he's got a good plan for me. I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, you say about a plan, and humans are always searching for their purpose, and
Absolutely. That's
it's
my
because
spiritual purpose.
we're driven by a soul that's so old that we can't
Yeah.
even comprehend that, and that soul had its rebirth because it's learning something,
Yeah.
and it that your soul knew what it needed, but you can't remember that. And so then you're endlessly searching through your life trying to figure out, well, what's your purpose.
Or I'm fighting it. Like they say, anybody that draws themselves to alcoholism,
Okay.
the reason why you draw you because you're trying to find a greater spiritual truth. And then until you realize you need to let that go to be able to find that truth to where you want to go. And that's where I'm at for the last 8 years of my life. I was a severe drinker, man. You wouldn't have dude, we wouldn't have even been friends
Yeah.
if I was that way. I was an egotistic, pompous dickhead. And I was a chauvinistic pig. You know what I mean? I did so many fucking stupid shit when I was drinking. I just wasn't the person that I am here today. And I'm grateful for that.
All my life, I had never, I don't drink around people, you know, and I might have a beer or something with somebody, but I don't drink and get drunk, you know, and that's for one thing. I very rarely will get drunk. I mean, maybe there was a handful of times, but
Well,
I've all, I know
when we
just
get together, bro, we're gonna have a party.
well, yeah, we can smoke. We can smoke a bowl, or we can drink a cup of coffee, or
Oh no, no, no. We're gonna get smashed. It'll be a special thing, and it's gotta be done. It'll be our ritual.
and like I only drank around people that I knew like extremely well because I went through the Navy, man, and saw those people that I didn't know and had to deal with them at every single port, drunk as shit. And
Bro, I think someone's fucking with my channel. Sorry for stopping you, dude.
wait, what?
I've got a gut feeling someone just blocked my live because no one's coming in at all now after it restarted my live.
Oh, that's weird.
Because
What's
I only got 17 minutes on mine now. What do you got for a time on yours?
2 hours and 9 minutes?
Yeah, someone stopped my live and restarted it. So I can't get any views.
I wonder why. Was it something we said?
I
No,
don't know what happened.
you would have got
Something
it.
happened.
It wasn't when you
I'm
touched
not
the screen.
no, I'm not being paranoid either. I got a gut feeling something just happened. But I don't care. We're still talking to each other, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, I don't want to get your channel in trouble, but we try to
No, we
keep
didn't
it.
I didn't even I put it specially not for kids, so it was adult only. So
That's why I like dive off to the corner and do my smoke, so I don't even know if they even care about that on
oh
YouTube.
man, I got one in here now. Okay, that's cool. I
Welcome
got a little
aboard.
I got a little paranoid for a second.
Yeah, we thought, oh, they left.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
said, welcome.
what were we talking about again? I'm sorry for interrupting you.
We were still talking about the soul thing, or no, the purpose
The
of life,
purpose.
and
Yeah.
finding your own purpose. Um, because I noticed that we are all fucking clogged and with our reality, and there's no chance to find your purpose in life. But when it gets quieter, things happen. How
Yeah.
come? How come? Like when I'm out of work and I seems to be I'm on my lowest way, um, the universe seems to hear me louder, and it seems like if I can actually call, like literally be like stupid and sit there and say it out loud and say, universe, I need this, and then bam, it'll happen. but it doesn't happen every day, and you can't just ask the universe every day, you know, for things. It has to be the right thing, you know,
Yeah.
and then it'll help you, I guess, see through the fog.
I want to compliment you too, because something you said to me last night really made me feel really good when we were talking about purpose, and you said that um, it seems like your purpose is for those two little kids,
Yeah,
and that's when I realized that you're right. I found it. I realized that my purpose is for them,
it wasn't,
and
and it wasn't the purpose of your purpose taking care of them today. That's not what your purpose was. The trials and tribulations that you went through your youth to get you to an adult, those things happen for a reason, for you to have understanding and care to get you through this point of raising, another set of kids that aren't, you didn't plan for that. Most people your age are retiring, from their kids, and
I appreciate that, Shane. That means a lot to me hearing that from you.
well, I'm glad that it feels, helps you feel better, because I thought of that thought and said it for a reason, because I know you always feel like there was so much time wasted, that you got wasted in your life, in your younger life, you know,
Yeah,
and drinking like that. But I really do think it was all for a reason, to give you the tolerance, you know, and that's funny. I kind of applied it with my job and my conversation with B today about getting a job. And I said, what if, like, all of the 23 years that I put into that trade, I put it in so I could walk away from it, so I could
yeah,
realize that that's not what I needed for the time.
yeah,
I needed it. It the My trade had, like, so much to do with my dad, and
yeah,
my dad's dad, and my mom was in the trade, and I felt like that was way I could get respect from my dad. But then I learned, after I was doing it for like 17 years, I had got that respect, and didn't always had it, and it didn't matter what I did. My dad told me that one time. He's like, I don't care if you do HVAC or not, I still love you, you know?
mm,
And um and so, yeah, you wonder about all the hard times in life, that maybe they were intentional, that they were a purpose, that they had a meaning to it, you know. They come so slow, the meaning of what you're supposed to do,
yeah,
you know. Like with my job, I still, after all this thinking about it, I kind of level, I was left with, like, well, okay, maybe it's okay not to do HVAC, and I probably don't want to do it, but I don't know the next step. Pick up, open up Craigslist and just start, do it like I did before all my life. Scroll down and read for an ad, and you need a job. That's apparent, but I guess that's the next step. Is I just got to push myself and be consistent, like you say. You know, be
yeah.
consistent with
Uh,
yourself.
just be careful what you say about needing something, right? You got to remember those needs have already met. You need to trust that there's a reason why you haven't got a job yet. You know what I'm saying? Trust in the universe and ask the universe. If you're going to demand something, don't ask them, demand it. What is it that you want me to do? What is it that you know that'll fit my life's purpose, that's going to create happiness for my family and wealth in the same thing? You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to happen. Something's going to come along that you never expected, but you said, hell, man, this is way out of my fucking ballpark.
Yeah,
But what the hell? I'm going to fucking do it
and
and
it
just
could be
roll with it.
you ever did. You know.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Have you ever
I
thought
see.
about being a trimmer? You ever thought about going to a fucking dispensary and say, "Hey, you guys need trimmers? I'll fucking trim for like 6 or 7 hours a day, or just trim for fucking $200 an ounce." That's what the going rate is. You can trim for, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I thought about doing that.
I I I lived that life
It's
for
fun.
10
I
years.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
I did. I grew weed for 10 years. I trimmed my own
Yeah.
weed, but for like 5 years, from 2005 to 2013, I trimmed every year. Me and B. I would go
Oh,
to dispensaries and trim. I would go to people's shitty dog smelly houses and trim there. Um, trimming an ounce. I mean, trimming for an ounce of weed. Trimming a pound for an ounce is tough.
yeah.
A lot of work. What do you got going? Oh, I thought you were showing
Mm.
me something, pointing to something.
No.
And no, I don't desire to like grow again, or well, I wish I had another plant, like a nice plant or something. But to do it production wise, I did it, and don't feel like I want to do it again.
Yeah. See, there you go. That's awesome.
And maybe that's
See,
a good example, man. I would no
right
more start growing weed as I would sling tools and crawl underneath the house. Hmm.
there. That's fucking amazing.
So what do I do? I don't know. Don't know, man. Gotta ask the universe for what's the next step.
Buddy, I gotta do this. I gotta take a piss. So I'm gonna do it in the dark.
Wasn't it you that was on live with somebody and then they whipped out their thingy and started going to the bathroom? Was it
Oh,
you?
that was, yeah, that was me.
Yeah, it was. It was. You were like, oh, I can see something.
Yeah.
That was funny, Will, when you created that poem about pooping.
Oh yeah, you like that?
And at first I was like, I'm all confused, and I was like, what the hell is he doing? Why are you explaining this mundane thing that we don't talk about? And then I don't know, it was about halfway through I realized that it was a metaphor of life and what we do in life. And then I happened to read one of your comments and you're like, oh, it's a metaphor, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So then I listened to it again, and then it kind of found it cheekily funny.
It was kind of funny, weren't it?
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's like, let's make a poem about, sneezing or, wiping your nose, but you've gotten really good at, choosing your words. And do you use a thesaurus when you do a poem?
Fuck no, dude. No. I do it all off the top of my head, or I look it up on. I'll do my research and a
Yeah,
little history behind, what I'm thinking about.
yeah,
But no,
certainly
that's not. All
AI.
of it's all of it's all off the cuff, man. It's crazy, isn't it?
Um, I wonder if you uh, asked AI to make a poem, like what would it just be a bunch of junk? Probably,
Yeah, I
because
don't know.
do it. Uh,
Yeah,
she
coming
cooks.
out of it.
She cooks and roasts. Said, "Hey, what's up, Yugen? Yugen Nation."
Hey, she cooks. Hey. I was in the
There,
dark, and now I bring myself to the light.
it's a foodie channel.
That's awesome. I'm glad to see her here. That's awesome. She's
It's a
gone now, but
foodie channel.
easy. Yeah, I feel much better now.
So there's foodie channels, right? But then
Oh,
most foodie channels, they don't show you eating. They just show the food, right? And how to prepare it. But then if you film yourself eating it, it's called mukbang.
mukbang.
Mukbang, yeah.
Huh.
And that's it's Japanese or something. And it's a style of posting yourself eating food. You know, it's kind of weird. People
Oh,
shouldn't
what was
post
I gonna do?
just to post.
Yeah.
Huh.
I
You
I
know,
did that when I first started my channel, dude, I was so creative. I tried everything in the book. If you go back to my old videos, dude, I was making up pictures and making videos of pictures. And to me, my greatest love, my greatest hobby in the whole entire world has got to be YouTube. I'm not lying. I
yeah.
really, I love and enjoy it. It you can I don't know. There's just something about YouTube, man. I just enjoy it. I feel like I'm really getting to love it a lot more.
And when you hit something like the shorts are a different category, but when you hit a video and you're like, that video, the lighthouse.
Hey, speaking of that, dude, that picture, you don't have that picture up. You could show you the picture of the lighthouse you drew.
I can't find it, Will.
I can't find it.
No, I'm serious. You
You
asked me about it
lost my
one
picture.
time before. You asked me about it, and then I searched, and I don't know. I got a lot of shit stacked, but it wasn't where I thought it was. And so I'm like, well, like I had the board like right here, and it was supposed to be right here. But I took it off and put it somewhere, and so also, but what I did come across was I think it's your initials and your wife's initials. Maybe it was four letters that were important to you. Let me check it. Looking it up. Looking it up. I got it in this file. Here it is. What does it say? It says KGSG. Oh, you can't even see it, huh?
I don't remember that one.
Is that your daughter's? KGSG? KGSG.
I don't know what that is.
I know that has
Curious.
something to do with you. I mean, that's the reason why I made it. Because you said it was before I made the Yugen thing, and said, "Oh, do this initial." You know, maybe I got it wrong, and then
I don't remember.
um,
That might have been like 5 years ago.
no, it was 4 years ago. Um, look at this.
That's cool.
It's oh, my camera's all messed up. It says Tom's. It says TOMZ. Look at how it drips.
That's badass.
And it drips up and it drips down.
That's cool.
I ended up doing that on my parents' cargo container. No, but I'm gonna find that, dude, and I'm still curious about this KGSG. I know it has something to do with you, and so I'm surprised that you don't. Kennedy. No, it's not for Kennedy.
Yeah.
Huh. That totally bugs me now because I know it was you, man. Why'd you have me do a KGSG? Not to do with your brother, or no,
Mm-mm.
not your wife and your initials. Well, there would be a
Nope.
W in them. No, huh? That's weird. Yeah, it was when I taught myself how to graffiti.
Yeah, it's badass.
It was funny. I was thinking, I was like, why in 2020 and 2021 did I do all these things that I was so active in my life and went so many directions? like 6 different things that I did. 7.
I know, right? But it was because of COVID.
Yeah.
It forced everyone to do something.
But is it and then so I struggle with, like, thinking, is it okay that I don't do that anymore?
Sure.
Like hobbies, like, I know I just did it for a time frame, you know? Like, people ask me like, "Hey, why don't you do your puppets anymore?" or something like that, and I'm like, I did it, you know, and never wanted to be known for just that." You know, stuff like that. Um, I still have I still have my bikes, and I'm extremely reluctant to sell those. I don't know, something tells me just to hang on to them, you know?
One thing you don't do much anymore is ride on your electric skateboard. You used to do that all the time.
I rode, in 2021 and 2022, I rode 785 miles.
Yeah.
Um, I know I haven't made time for myself, but my board's always right there,
That's
ready to go.
cool.
Yeah, but that's okay. It's okay not to do all this stuff to distract you.
More these days for me, I spend more pleasure in just having alone time.
Whoa, you could zoom in?
I didn't know that.
Whoa.
What button's that?
No, I just pinched the screen on my side
No, mine
and
doesn't do it.
expand your fingers, you know,
That's
like this.
crazy.
Does
Yeah,
it
I
do
just
it on?
tried it. Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it does.
Oh, wait. We could we could split our face.
That's cool.
Like half a person. That's
Yeah.
funny. Um, it's funny, Will. I've tried to explain my relationship with you, like to my best friend or to my dad or something, and it's like they don't they don't understand that how you could be friends with a person that you never met,
Mm.
and you don't know that person, and you only know what they know, like they let you know, and I told my dad I was like, it's more of a vibe,
It's
you know,
energy. It's
and yeah,
energy, bro. And
yeah,
it might be a soulmate connection too. We might have been we might have been soulmates in many lifetimes. We might have been in a relationship romantically as a husband and a wife.
wouldn't that figure that if we knew each other before and then now we'd be that far apart,
Yeah.
then then we ended up finding like each other? That would be crazy. Oh
Yeah,
no,
I'm a true
seriously,
believer in that.
yeah,
We
I
have a
believe
very
in
unique relationship. It's kind of crazy because there was a point where we didn't even talk for almost a year.
right, and during that time, I thought I did something wrong, you know, and but you were going through so bad troubled times, ripping your emotions out, and but I didn't know that because you didn't disclose that to me, and
Mm-mm.
that it was that, you know, and as soon as I found out, I was like, wow, okay, well,
Yeah.
let's get into helping you work through your problems, you know,
Mhm.
or trying to get through that time of your life, you know.
Yeah, it was
And
horrible. Everything happened. I mean, we lost. There was my father, my biological father passed away. Joanne's first cousin passed away. Joanne's uh, cousin's husband passed away, and my daughter went through a very bad domestic violence thing. That all happened.
wow,
Within a year. So it was so much stuff that I had to be able to handle it on my own in my own time to heal from my. I had to heal from all that. you know? And so I didn't need any extra in my life. And as a Scorpio, my zodiac sign, it fits me to a T. You know what I'm saying? That's who a Scorpio is. You know, the tower falls, you know, and then the phoenix rises again. And I guess that's where it is. That's where I'm at now. And I'm from those experiences, it's made me a hell of a lot stronger as a person, a better listener, just a better, well-rounded person. Like I needed that to be where I am right now, to have these conversations with you. So, you know what I mean? So I'm more prepared. Like I feel like I've leveled up, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you're you're lucky that you were able to sort it out and you had your channel for your private self and
If I didn't have
and
that poetry, I don't know how I could have gotten through it.
yeah, you really got into it, you
I
know.
wrote over 400 poems in a year.
Wow. Wow. That's cool.
Yeah,
And
and I started out with just the challenge of 100, a poem a day for 100 days was my first challenge to myself, and I made a video of it, and I succeeded that. Beyond that, and then I said, you know, the Forrest Gump thing, I'm going to keep walking. You know, I just wasn't. It wasn't. I wasn't ready yet. And then look at me. You know, the last week I've done more live videos in this last year than I have in the whole 5 years I've had my channel.
and the more you do with the lives, the more the algorithm starts pulling people in. It takes a while to build, but you know, say like after 6 months of doing consistent lives, I mean, you might have an audience, an instant audience of 10, 20, 30, you know, instead
Right.
of just one or two coming
But
in, you
it's
know.
not even, it's not about that. I want you to understand, Shane, like you said in the beginning of this conversation, that we're not getting paid to do this.
Yeah.
This is a this is an YouTube's giving us an opportunity that a guy that's 4,000 miles away and two guys that can get together and get on here and talk and communicate, and that's what it's all about, right? I mean, at the end of the day, isn't that worth more than, I mean, yes, we could all use the paycheck. I'm not going to say that. Yes, I agree. But it means a lot more to me personally.
My best friend that I've known for 31 years will not go online on any form. Like he has no interest in going like live like this. I tried to talk to him and I was like, dude, it's a killer modern way to be able to have a conversation like you're there, you know? And he just excuses, you know, he's just like, oh well, your app doesn't work with my phone. And um then he told me for a long time he didn't have YouTube. But then I find out that he had Starlink and he has YouTube. And but he just doesn't watch YouTube. And so he has no interest in going on live, sees nothing for it. You know, there's nothing for him there. And so it's funny that you take somebody that knows me personally so well and their reluctance to even go online like or to go live like that. And then you like don't even hardly know you from you know when I first met you, I didn't know you from Adam, and then we're able to go on live like this. You know, we've
Yeah,
known each other for what
it's a
5
gift.
years.
It's a gift. It really is. It's truly a gift. And it also was an opportunity for us to meet. You know, we never would have had this if we would have never met without having YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's funny
So
is
it's so
I
many
wouldn't have met
benefits.
you without Jesus Wizard
Yes.
because
I
you were
don't know.
there on the channel.
I I honestly don't know. No, I don't know what happened between him and I and his relationship and I don't know. Because he wasn't one of the people that I meant to take out all that stress and anxiety out over people really not being, I don't know. It's a long story, but I don't have regret. I just wish that I wish him well, and I hope that
Um,
someday we can have that same relationship we used to have.
at the same time that we started talking live, I invited Dave, that's his name, uh, to go into a dialogue like that, and he had no interest in it.
Yeah.
he didn't want to engage in friends with that way. And I was a huge commenter on his channel. I mean,
Yeah.
I commented and watched every video. I just watched one of his videos, but I hadn't seen him in a long time. He's grown to almost 1,000 subscribers, you know, and he just does his thing, and
Yeah.
he uses his channel for that, you know, the expression of his nature side, and God, the feelings that he has about God, you know,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I always
and
respected the man.
totally, and
I still have respect for him.
oh yeah, I mean he's wise. I mean he's wise and he knows all of the stuff that we've talked about, and he just knows better, and he was raised in a really messed up religious fact aspect, you know um and his brother became crazy because of his parents being religious. His parents told him they were divulged Catholics, and they were Sunday school teachers and still are in their 80s, and they told his brother that he had demons in him. And so his brother really believed him and became psycho and lived underneath a bridge so he doesn't affect people or get the demon to his loved ones. And then he's lived 30, 40 years as a homeless person because of this that he has demons in him. And that was just the wrong teachings, man. It was just really messed up teaching
Oh yeah.
to talk about you're talking to your son about God, and then you tell them that they did something wrong, you know, and they try to teach you that, oh, everybody was born with this demon in you, and that's kind of like the Catholic base, a part of the Catholic faith, and it's up
That
to
sounds
you
like
to.
Pentecost. That sounds like more like
You're right.
Pentecostal, Southern
Pentecostal,
Baptist.
Pentecostal Baptist, and it's up to you to repent through your life
Yeah.
and to find things to repent about, and that's weird.
Yeah.
It's the wrong juju. Man, that chair looks like a comfy chair. I bet you took some naps in there, man. Kicked it back.
Yeah. Everyone calls it the King's Throne because when I sit in here, I cross my leg. I look like I own the place. It's not. It's just I feel comfortable in it. It
You
was a
know,
freebie.
not every guy crosses their legs, but people that are completely comfortable with themselves
Yeah.
and what's the word? Oh, like sure of themselves.
Yeah. I'm
Then
crossing my legs right now.
yeah, I that's how I sit.
That's how I
Uh,
sit too.
I remember being young and watching the older guys, and they'd sit like that at lunch, and it was almost like this sense of, I don't know, the sense of power, not power, of confident, being confident, being still enough to be still enough to just kind of sit there and be okay with that. You could mess up yourself a lot by crossing it too long, and
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah. Hip
can
problems.
cause
Yeah.
varicose veins and cut off circulation. So, um, my dad, that was something that changed in his life. He all my life crossed his leg, and then he went to this point when he was retired that he like started um like sitting down with his legs open and very manly postures. But on my whole life, he crossed his leg. It was
Mhm.
just weird. Like why are you sitting like a thug at a bus stop? you know.
I'm doing that right now. Yeah.
That's
Stretching my legs
that's
out.
totally how you look for a fucking bus. You're like waiting for the bus. You're like, "Arr." Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember riding a bus, man. I rode a bus a lot when I was a kid. How about you? Did you?
Oh yeah. I lived out in the country, so yeah, I had to ride a bus. It was like almost a 45-minute bus ride every day.
But there wasn't a county.
bus? Was there?
Heck no, we don't have any. No, we don't have those kind of buses.
Man, there was hot days that were like 120 degrees, and the buses had Mackin air conditioner, and it only cost $1 to ride the bus. So me and my buddies would get on the bus, and we'd take the whole circuit and ride the bus till it went all the way to the end, all through town, and you would end up like 20 miles from your house. And San Jose was about 40 miles big, like in a circle.
Jeez.
And it's full, just dense of streets and freeways. There's 4 freeways that crisscross through that area. And then we would get out of the bus and we'd go, duck behind the bushes, smoke some bowls, and then get back on the bus and ride the bus. And we did that for
That'd
fun.
that'd be a whole new country for me, dude. It'd be like culture shock.
Yeah, you're like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this?
Yeah, yeah.
Like what's that over there? And I love growing up in a big city, and
Dude, I want to travel so bad, dude. If an opportunity comes, I want to take it.
see, that's funny. I want to travel too, but I want to go to all those places that I didn't go before. I want to go to monuments. I want to go to the middle of nowhere. I want to go to, out in the middle of Arizona just to see a great sunset, or I want to see the Grand Canyon, or, just those things, those national monuments.
I want to go wherever my soul takes me, man. I want to be directed by the soul. Just friggin' go.
Can you imagine if you went on a trip and you just filled up and you just picked a road,
Yeah.
and a destination, or a vague destination. I'm going to go that way, and then you end up jumping over here, jumping over there. I've always admired people that were set up that way, and they would pull into a small little town, go get a job at the video place, work for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and on they went to another
No
place.
man. No. Whoops. It just started over again. What the heck?
Crazy.
That's the second time it's done that.
That's weird. Is it your power? You got it plugged in?
Maybe my battery's going dead.
Wouldn't you need a trailer?
Holy moly, dude.
What?
My battery's at 20%. So it's
Oh,
probably, I don't know. That's cool though.
it's gonna suck it down. Like, I mean, it'll turn it off like real quick. You still there? I'm waiting. Guys, I'm in the queue. This is my friend, Mr. Black Box. Black Box or Dark Box, is what his pronouns are. Actually, his pronoun is White Box. So we're waiting for Will to come back on, and it's probably done. Will, I'll probably hang up then. People, just remember, if you hear this message, Yugen Bliss is the road to happiness. I'm out.